Imagine sipping a cold, fizzy drink, a burst of sweetness that instantly brings a rush of happiness, right? The kind of drink we all know, the one that brings back memories of childhood, of summers with friends, of happiness in a bottle. Coca-Cola. We've all been there. But what if I told you that the bubbly drink we've loved for generations hides some seriously wild secrets? What if Coca-Cola's story isn't just about sweetness and smiles? Could it be something darker, something more sinister? Buckle up, because Coca-Cola's story is filled with scandals, mind-blowing marketing, and a wartime strategy that'll leave you questioning everything. This isn't your typical brand history. This is Coca-Cola like you've never seen it before. Let's rewind time, back to the late 1800s, a time when people were desperate for cures. The world wasn't as medically advanced as it is now, and what did people do? They turned to medicinal potions, some straight-up insane ones, and one of the most popular concoctions, a drink called Vin Mariani. It was made from wine and cocaine. Yeah, you read that right. Cocaine in a drink. And it was considered a cure-all for everything from headaches to exhaustion. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the twist. John Pemberton, a war veteran recovering from a morphine addiction, stumbled across Vin Mariani. He thought, this stuff works. But when Prohibition hit in 1885, what did he do? He had to ditch the alcohol. So what did he swap it with? Carbonated water. But here's the catch. He didn't stop there. He added a hefty amount of sugar because, let's be honest, who wants a bitter drink? So, in an instant, Coca-Cola was born. But what happened next? That's where things get really interesting. Enter Frank Robinson, Pemberton's bookkeeper, who came up with the name Coca-Cola. He named it after the key ingredients. Coca leaves, yes, cocaine, and cola nuts for caffeine. And what did they do next? They created a name that wasn't just catchy, it was strategic. It wasn't an instant success. But this wasn't just about a drink anymore. Oh no, it was the beginning of something much bigger. So what changed? How did a simple drink turn into the global empire we know today? Well, enter Asa Candler, a businessman who bought Coca-Cola in 1888. The catch: Coca-Cola was barely selling at all. But Candler wasn't about to let this gem go to waste. He didn't just see a drink, he saw an experience. But how did he make people feel that way? He plastered the Coca-Cola logo everywhere, on barns, billboards, even on bicycles. If it had space, it was branded. He wasn't just thinking about selling a drink. He was thinking about selling a lifestyle, a refreshment. But here's the thing. Candler didn't stop at just getting people to see the logo. Oh no, he targeted pharmacies, offering free trial coupons. His pitch? Coca-Cola wasn't just a drink, it was an experience. The drink that made life a little more refreshing. But how did he do it? Could a single ad campaign change everything? Then came the game changer. Coca-Cola's holiday ads featuring a jolly Santa Claus, holding a Coke in hand. But here's the kicker. Coca-Cola wasn't just a drink anymore. It was a part of Christmas magic. But wait, there's more. Coca-Cola mastered the art of sex sells. They hired attractive women, known as Coca-Cola girls, to sell the idea of Coke being irresistible. And it worked. But how far could they push this? How far would people go for an experience that wasn't even real? Now let's talk about World War II. Sugar was rationed, but Coca-Cola, they were exempt from the rationing. Why? Because they convinced the government that Coke was a patriotic product, vital for soldier morale. And guess what? The government bought it. They even sent top execs to ensure Coca-Cola kept its sugar supply flowing. But wait, there's more. Coca-Cola didn't just stay in America. No, they expanded. And they expanded fast. 64 bottling plants worldwide, and the soldiers. They spread the love. Coca-Cola became the drink of the Allied troops. But here's the wild part. Coca-Cola was also supplying Nazi Germany with Coke. Can you believe it? Coca-Cola was making deals with both sides during the war. How long could they keep this secret? And when the war ended, what would happen to Coca-Cola? Enter Fanta. When the Nazis couldn't import Coke syrup due to wartime restrictions, Coca-Cola helped create Fanta, a drink that would later go global. The war was devastating for many, but Coca-Cola turned it into the golden age of global expansion. But was it all about business, or was there something more sinister at play? And now let's talk about Coca-Cola's secret formula. You've heard of it, right? The legendary secret formula. But here's the kicker. It's not really secret. You can actually find it on Wikipedia. But the real secret wasn't the ingredients themselves. The secret was Coca-Cola's genius in branding. They didn't just create a drink. They built a global icon. They didn't sell a product. They sold a feeling. Coca-Cola wasn't just a drink. It was about happiness, refreshment, and togetherness. They marketed it like a lifestyle. But what did they do next? Was it the formula that made them a giant? Or was it the branding that captured the world? Coca-Cola didn't just want customers. They wanted lifelong devotees. They made exclusive deals with schools, ensuring kids grew up with Coke. The idea: Coke would be something they'd crave from childhood, and something they'd continue to drink for the rest of their lives. But how far did Coca-Cola go to secure this kind of loyalty? They manipulated prices, controlled distribution, and even forced distributors to buy more syrup than they needed, all to make their profits look better. But what does that say about their business practices? Could it all just be a game? If you couldn't make the product more exciting, you made the numbers work for you. Then came one of the most famous failures in marketing history: New Coke. It was the 1980s, and Pepsi's Pepsi Challenge blind taste test revealed that people preferred Pepsi's taste. Coca-Cola, not wanting to admit defeat, decided to change their formula, introducing New Coke. But what happened next? A complete disaster. People hated it. Letters flooded Coca-Cola's offices, demanding the original formula back. The backlash was huge. Coca-Cola had underestimated just how much people identified with the classic taste. So what did they do? In a move that shocked the world, Coca-Cola reintroduced the original formula as Coca-Cola Classic. But here's the big question. Was this a huge mistake or a marketing stunt? Was Coca-Cola playing the long game by turning a failure into a massive marketing win? And in the end, people went crazy for the original taste. Sales exploded, and some even argue that the whole New Coke disaster was intentionally designed to reignite nostalgia. Whether it was a planned move or not, it worked. Coca-Cola had people talking about their drink in a way they never could have predicted. But could they have seen this coming? Coca-Cola's story isn't just about a fizzy drink. It's about branding, manipulation, and timing. It's about creating a global empire that's bigger than the product itself. Coca-Cola wasn't just selling a drink. They were selling an idea. A promise that when you crack open a Coke, you're not just refreshing your body. You're refreshing your spirit. But was that the real reason behind Coca-Cola's success? They didn't just want you to buy their drink once. They wanted it to be part of your life, part of your celebrations, part of your memories. Coca-Cola didn't just sell a drink.